Hi, this is Sharif. I'm going to showcase Openmrs Fire Implementation Guide with Herbert Namanya. We had a project scope, and our main goal is to come up with a testable Fire IG and integrate it with the Fire tool module integration tests. This project is based on OpenHIE implementation guide that was created by Jose Costa, and then we had to replicate what he created to have the skeleton of Fire IG. And this module provides a standard way of documenting fire services, and our primary goal is to align the fire services with fire tool module documentation with this standard. So we also have the project objectives, and the project objective is to build a Fire tool module implementation guide with testable resources and profiles. And like I said, we have to integrate the testable IG features with Fire tool integration tests. Of course, we have to use the test scripts in Postman to give us to test with the resources that we have supported, along with the IG. You have to understand the Openmrs data model and then the fish, the sushi as the tools you're going to be using, and you have to be knowing a bit of Java development. Let's dive into our project structure. Basically, we have this is a Git repository, and this Git repository is called Openmrs contrib fire IG. Basically, we are going to focus on we're going to see just a few files. First of all, the very important file is update publisher. This file basically pulls resources from the HL7 IG publisher, and it downloads all the dependencies required to build an IG. So basically, that is the importance of it, and it's one of the best files you have to download or to have to run before you run an IG. So this is another file, denounce.sys. So the denounce.sys helps us to publish or helps us to push all our code or all our resources to the browser if all is well, because you first have to run the update publisher for all the dependencies to load. The dependencies I'm talking about, the sushi, the fish, you have to first download them, the Node.js, all the tools that you have to first install before you run this. So I'm going to focus on this folder called .fish, but specifically, let's talk about the patient resource. This is a common resource and very important resource as Openmrs is concerned. As a patient, it have to have attributes, and these are the attributes that we support in Openmrs Fire tool module. So we gave it the profile. First, of course, you need to understand what a profile is in Fire. And a parent is supposed to be named as a parent. I mean, you're supposed to give it a name that is very understandable and equivalent to almost the same name in Fire tool module, and then OpenMR score. OpenMR score, that means that's what we said, you have to know OpenMR's data model. So give it a description and OpenMR's patient as a title. Then, like I said, as OpenMRs, you first know we have what we call attributes. And attributes are resources that we support. We support identifiers and have to be active, name, gender. But let me talk about name. So basically, we have what we call cardinalities in Fire IG. Cardinalities, this is another way of validating Fire implementation guide and what we support. As a patient resource, it supports a name, and we're giving it cardinality 1, 1. It means that patient resource in Fire tool, it supports name. So for all the attributes supported in Openmrs patient resource, you have to give it cardinality 1, 1. If you give it cardinality 0, 0, that means you don't support it fully. But for the resources that you support fully, you have to give it cardinality 1, 1. The other resources are the person resource, observation resource, medication resource, location resource, urgent resource, condition resource, and all those resources that we support and fire to module. Then after that, if you build this fish file, but before I go, I don't go before I go any further. I also want to talk about mappings. So as OpenMRS, like I said, we pick this. We are picking all the artifacts from the HL7, and so we have to map some of the profiles, some of the attributes that we support to the fire to the HL7. So this is how you map your resources to the HL7. You can map using that greater arrow and like that. That's how we map these resources. They are included, they are part of the work. So we also included the search parameters. We also included the example resources. This is how you can come up with a very good, a very good IG. So after running, then we can now go back to our IG. So this is a module. This is a module, but again, like I told you, the module structure is like that. This is how you build it, and you have install again Jenkins to that. You have install Sesh. Let's go to our IG. So after building, you will be able to see this file, this URL popping up. So this is an IG, and you can see that it has Openmrs module home, table of contents, verification, artifacts, index. So that's how it looks like. It have a lot of resources and a lot of documentation. You can easily understand what we support and why do we support that using the file implementation guide. Very easy to use for new devs who may not understand Openmrs data model and Openmrs Fhir resources that we support. I want to concentrate on Openmrs Fhir patient resource because this is one that we looked into. So you can see that it gives us the name, it gives us active whether it is true or false, deceased whether the patient is deceased, whether it is true or false, and then the contact. These are the attributes, the exact attributes that we support in Openmrs. Let's try to look into this JSON file. So this JSON file, we will use it to validate we'll use it to validate within our Fhir to module integration tests. So when I talk about Fhir to module integration tests, that will mean that I'll have to open up my Postman. We had two options to carry out this. The first option is to come up with a module that will validate this resource, patient resource, with our Fhir IG. The case was like, write this IG or copy this JSON file, then try to put it into an IG, Fhir to module integration test, then validate it. For the meantime, we saw that already that was done. So we decided to use Postman testing using test scripts. Sorry. So test scripts gives us an ability to understand if a patient have been, is tested, and then if a patient is being returned using the URL. So this post gives us the very good another idea of saying, hey, this is passing and has nothing. This is okay. So this resource is the same resource that we used here. Now I'm talking about the validating our Fhir implementation guide. So we just have to copy your resource, JSON file, then come and validate it here. This is the normal API testing. But in this case, we are trying to see if this resource, if the JSON file gives us the same data as I do it the normal way of testing an API. So test scripts, pre-test scripts, as you can see, I hope it is very visible. So this is where most of the code part is, that you can validate all the resources based on the body that you gave it. Then the test gives us the UI part of it, that hey, this is running perfect. I will run this just for the purpose of an example. When I say send, so I'll be able to receive some, you can see 200, okay, and then there's nothing that has failed. and then it is giving you capability statement resource type return. This is what we've just put here. So doing this using test script, it gives us an ability or it gives us a way to say that this resource body that we've this resource that we've just used there is passing without any problem. That's how we've come up with using this kind of validation that can validate our resources. Thanks to Herbert, Namanya, thanks to Peter, thanks to Jose Kosan, thanks to Ian, thanks to Moses for guiding us and from where we've started, because of course we learn these things from scratch. But thank you so much and have a nice time.